Welcome to another Business Tech Planet video. Today, we'll show you how to enable and utilize the Developer tab in Excel. First, we'll enable the Developer tab in Windows. Then we'll enable it on Mac. Once enabled, we'll show you how to use the Excel add-ins, how to use form controls, and finally, we'll give you a bonus tip using VBA. In the desktop version of Excel, there's an option to enable the Developer tab, which gives you access to additional tools, such as add-ins and Visual Basic. In Windows, head to the top left and click File. Then go down and click Options, or More, then Options. Now head up to the Options dialog box and select Customize Ribbon in the left menu. Here, go across to the tabs list on the right, and scroll down. Check the box next to Developer. Then hit OK. You should now find the Developer tab at the top. To enable the Developer tab on a Mac, start by heading to the top left and clicking Excel. Then select Preferences from the drop-down. Head across to the Preferences dialog box, and select View. In View, go down and check the box next to Developer. Now head up and close View, and you should see the Developer tab appear at the top. Now we've enabled the Developer tab, we can take a look at some of the tools we've gained access to. Let's start by clicking Add-ins at the top. In the Add-ins dialog box, click on Store. Here you'll find a selection of third-party applications that you can add into your Excel environment. We'll select the Wikipedia add-in. Just hit Continue to add the application. Once loaded, you'll be able to search through wiki pages directly from your workbook. On Windows, the ribbon will look slightly different. Here, we have an additional option called COM add-ins. COM stands for Component Object Model, which are additional components you can add into Excel. Let's select Power Pivot. Then hit OK. You'll notice a new tab above the ribbon named Power Pivot. Here, you can access new powerful features to help you perform advanced data analysis. On the Windows version of Excel, we have access to ActiveX controls, which require VBA coding to make them work. On the Mac version, we can only access the basic form controls, but that's fine if you're unfamiliar with VBA. We'll demonstrate the form controls by creating a total calculator that updates based on a user's input. Let's start by selecting a combo box, which is essentially a drop-down list. Now click somewhere on your worksheet to drop the box. Drag the edges to resize the box. Then position it above or below, or just to the side of where you want it. You'll see why in a moment. Next, right-click the combo box, and select Format Control from the drop-down. In the Format dialog box, select the box next to Input Range. It's a good idea to have the data for your select boxes on a separate sheet. We've got three options that we want in our select box. Simply click and drag to select them. Now click the box next to Cell Link. This is the cell where the output will appear, which should be the position where you want to place the select box. We'll select the cell just below. Now hit OK. Click anywhere outside the drop-down box. Then click the box, and you'll see the options you selected earlier. You'll also notice that when we select an option, a number will appear in the linked cell. That number corresponds to the option you selected, where the first option is 1, the second option is 2, and so on. To do something with this number, we can use a formula. This formula changes the output in the adjacent cell, depending on which option has been selected. If the user selects the first option, the value in B5 will be 1. So if the value of B5 is 1, we'll output $99.99. If the value of B5 is 2, we'll output $69.99. And if the value of B5 is 3, we'll output $49.99. If you don't want users to see the number, right-click the drop-down box, left-click, then click and drag to position it over the linked cell. Now the drop-down's working, we can demonstrate the checkboxes to create a total at the bottom. Let's go up and click Checkbox in the ribbon. Then click somewhere on the worksheet. To create more checkboxes, you can hold down Ctrl, then click and drag. To rename them, right-click, then double-click. We're going to create some add-ons for a web service plan. We'll make an option called SSL. Backups. And multiple domains. When you're done, position the checkboxes so they line up. Then, to make it easier to move them around, hold down Ctrl and Shift on Windows, or Command and Control on Mac. Then click the other checkboxes. With the checkboxes selected, right-click any of them. Now go to Group in the drop-down, and select Group. We can now position them wherever we want. Now we need to link each checkbox to a cell. To do that, right-click the checkbox. You'll need to right-click twice if you have them grouped. Then go to Format Control. Here, click the box next to Cell Link, then select the cell where you want the output to appear. We'll select the cell next to the checkbox. Now repeat the process for all checkboxes. When we select one of the checkboxes, you'll notice True appears in the cell we choose for the output. And if we unselect the boxes, the word False will appear. If you want to hide these outputs, select them, then head up to the Home tab. Here, change the font color to match the cell background. To do something with the outputs, we can use a formula. Here we've got a formula that checks if the value for each checkbox is true. If C7 is true, we add 10. Otherwise, we add 0. If C8 is true, we add 5, otherwise 0. And if C9 is true, we add 5, or 0. We're also adding the price of the plan to the total, which is the value for gold, silver, or bronze, located in C5. This means that when a user selects any of the add-ons, the price of each add-on is added to the price of the plan. That gives us a grand total for all selected products. For our bonus tip, we'll give you an example of the most powerful tool in the Developer tab. Visual Basic is a programming language that allows you to manipulate data in ways that standard Excel functions and formulas can't, such as event handling and file manipulation. Once you've opened Visual Basic, double-click the current sheet, which will open up a new code editor. Next, head down to the description and copy the code. Once copied, head back and paste the code into the editor. Now close Visual Basic. To run the code, we'll need to set up a keyboard shortcut. To do that, click Macros. Then select the code we just made, and click the Options button. Since we're using a Mac, our shortcut will be Option, plus Command, plus a letter of our choice. We'll choose T. Now click OK. You can hit Cancel to continue, or hit Run to test the code. This code is designed to overwrite all selected cells with the current date and time. So, we should see today's date when we hit Run. Now we know the code is working, we can use it on our table. We'll select some random cells. Then press Option, Command, and T. And that's it, our VBA code is working perfectly. That's all for this video. If you found it helpful, why not buy us a coffee? We'd really appreciate it, and you'll be helping us grow the channel. Thanks for watching. Remember to check the description for additional resources. And don't forget to subscribe for more Microsoft videos.